Hello everyone and welcome back to another chart planning update video. Today, instead of MSTR stock, I want to cover both Mara stock and Bitcoin just because there's a lot of volume right now. It's a lot of high volume and MSTR is not affected by that as much as Mara is. So I thought I'm going to tailor towards a more volatile asset at the moment just because of course, it is more. There's more volume right now, and it just seems like the more important thing to focus on, at least on this current video. But I'll try to make a MSTR video like tomorrow or ASAP. But either way, before we get started, I am going to say that everything in this video is not financial advice. This is just a way for me to document and express my own general approach towards the assets that we're going to be covering during this video. And again, it's not financial advice. I'm not recommending or telling everyone to buy, sell, or hold any assets during this video. So let's get started. Like I said, both Bitcoin and Mara I'm going to cover today real quick. If you guys want to understand what the bigger picture of these assets look like, if you look at yesterday's Mara video, there I explained the bigger picture of Mara, and if you just go back to my most recent Bitcoin video, which I believe is a Mara and Bitcoin combination video, I explain what the bigger picture there looks like as well. But yeah, if you guys want to see what that looks like so you can better understand where we are currently, I would highly recommend you check that out. Now, I have this purple area up here, which is my third wave top estimate, because we are on the current trajectory for an overall third wave structure within a bigger, trying to work our way towards the fifth wave, which can bring us up to over $40 per share. But when it comes to short term, of course, we ended a little smaller third wave not too long ago. It was actually very recent. And then ever since then, we're still working on the fourth wave, which is very much overextended, but we should be on the last portion of the fourth wave, which is the third wave of the fourth wave for the bearish count right here. And then from there, we can finish off the fifth wave of the third, or the fifth wave, which will finish the third wave. And then from there, I can give you guys a fourth wave estimate. But real quick, everything I'm going to say here all depends on what Bitcoin does throughout the next, throughout the rest of July, which is almost over, and then throughout the rest of August, which is next month, and that's going to, again, whatever Bitcoin does will highly influence Mara. I'm just covering Mara first. So, real quick, we started off and we had a third wave move down. Now, depending on what happens here, because let me actually jump into Bitcoin for one quick moment. So if Bitcoin decides to dip down further into our support area to find, or to potentially find support, what that would look like then, let me move this to the right, if Bitcoin were to dip down a little bit more to find support, then that means, and of course, again, on my opinion, Mara will definitely see a break below this yellow structure. What does that mean? That means that I will be very soon cutting all of my short-term longs. Again, since this is a accumulation area, I do not have much longs with Mara, so I have no problem with that. But of course, I'm going to be cutting losses right down here on this bottom area, because if we reach it, to me, that tells me that we're going to see a break of structure downward, potentially. Okay, we can even just dip down a little bit more later this week, and then potentially just start working our way up from there. But we want to be cautious, and we want to make sure that you force yourself to sell any losing trades if, of course, they don't meet your criteria anymore. And then that my personal criteria is anything below the 0.618 right here, the 1.618 it's an automatic sell for me. And then from there, I'm looking to restructure. Now, if that were to happen, I'm going to give you guys the bearish before I give you guys the bullish scenario. If I were to restructure because we had another break of structure down here, then what that will look like is that this is no longer a WX right here. This will be moved down to here. The X will be moved over here because this was a nice little rally right there. So it'll be more of an X, or it'll be a WYX, or let me repeat myself, WXY pattern, because it would show that an overextended correction would then be supported by, of course, a more overextended layout. So a WXY instead of a WXY. And then, of course, within these patterns, that would show a the Y to be a. I want to do another WXY within the Y structure to show that the final third wave finished off as another three-wave correction. But I'm not gonna get into that too much. I don't like seeing letters overlap too much, so I just gave it a ABC for now. But this Y wave, if we find support here, we're gonna finish off the C wave of the Y wave. So it'll be a first, second, third wave, top completing and starting to top out once we start moving higher. And by top out, I mean just we start moving higher from here. If we do see a break of structure down here below the point or the 1.618, then I'm going to make this a more extended WXY pattern. And if we happen to break this second wave low, then I'm going to restructure what the second wave looks like. I'll restructure that so we can have a better understanding. Although it won't make too much sense just because this is a very fulfilled value gap down here where we have the swing highs and swing lows pretty much kind of meeting each other, and then we have a very extended structure right here where the third wave, just like expected, rose a lot more because it is an extended wave, just like a fourth and fifth wave is. But if that were to happen, I'm going to restructure the wave count for you guys to make more sense of it, to make it more organized, and to remove a lot of uncertainty and FOMO from having a messy structure. But the structure, again, I'm not going to do that unless we break below the second wave down here. If we happen to break the 1.618, which is a little bit above that, then I'm going to extend the third wave move so we can have a better understanding of what that looks like. But as of right now, if we do find support before the 1.618, of course, this third wave move within the third wave will stay in place, and then we can start moving higher from there. So it's quite as simple as that. That's my bearish case, and that's my bullish case. And of course, I do hope a lot of you are being cautious with this stock, because again, as I break down Bitcoin, whatever Bitcoin does will highly influence this stock as well, especially during high volume times. It's a very they kind of correlate with each other quite heavily. Because again, Mara is primarily focused on mining Bitcoin, and they hodl a lot of Bitcoin, which is it's a good thing. It's very positive. But on downturns, if you're a long or too heavy with a long position, it can hurt you quite a lot. So yeah, that's my bearish case where I'm going to be looking to cut here and then restructure if we break below this. If we don't and we actually start pushing up higher, once we reach into this blue retracement area, which I can actually move down a little bit since we broke down a little bit more, then that's where I'm looking to potentially start looking to see if we are in a confirmed bullish structure. But as of right now, we're just trying to figure out if we're going to start reversing higher or break below this area, which again, we'll know that with some patience. And of course, whatever Bitcoin does during market closed hours, and then what it does like over weekends, and what it does, like anytime today as well. But yeah, so I'm not trying to repeat myself too much on that stock, so I'm going to jump over here. Now, the possibility of Mara going any lower will, of course, like I said, depend on Bitcoin. Now, what Bitcoin currently, what it looks like is I added, it wasn't here last video, but I added this green area today to indicate what a potential bullish momentum will look like. So at this point, currently, what we have is, in my opinion, what a very clear, so if I can get an arrow that I like, this one should be fine. So from this high to here, and that's a liquidity grab just because we saw prices briefly break over that, liquidating any positions that were in this area. So then that opened up the, when there's more liquidity, then that's when a structure can start moving the opposite way, and we'll have confirmation of a break of structure once we see the previous swing get broken. So right now we do have a bearish break of structure. So we had this area right here get broken briefly, form some liquidity, and then we started moving lower, breaking this low right here, and then that's our break of structure. So we want to see this happen, but like in the opposite way, so then we can start moving higher. We want to see liquidity start favoring the bulls. We want to see, after a change in liquidity, we want to start seeing a break of structure as well. So short term, what that looks like, without getting into too much technicals, is as simple as trying to find support somewhere in this area ideally, and then we can start moving higher. And then of course, if we do move lower, I'm going to be lowering this as well. But this is where it's very, very important to be cautious. It's very important for anyone to structure trades very conservatively. If you do believe that we are going to continue to respect this orange support area down here, which it's acting as a support right now. It was previously just a way to confirm bullish momentum, and then we started forming bullish momentum. We made a new high twice on this from the swing high right here, quite briefly. It happened twice, and now we're breaking lower. So it's a very important time to be cautious and just trade according to your risk tolerance. Of course, I am personally being very cautious. A lot of my short-term Bitcoin and Bitcoin related trades I'm being very cautious with, and I'm not going in too heavy, just because the charts and directions aren't very clear at the moment, and just because there's a lot of bullish news. Oh, we can actually remove this. This isn't necessary anymore. We can kind of keep things organized a little bit. So, and then I'm going to remove this too. We can keep it organized just like that. We don't need that. This way, I'll put that back in a little bit more accurately if we start seeing a new break of structure below the second wave low, and then from there I'll restructure the waves for you guys. But again, it's all just estimates. Just because wave counts are where they are, and the number they represent does not mean things have to play out in their favor. It's just a way for us to have a better context on the charts. So, quite simply, we are still in this. I've had this drawn out for a while. We're still, trading within this trailing line that I drew here, working our way higher. That would eventually, very soon, make us reach new all-time highs, right above $74,000. And how this affects tomorrow, because I'm pretty sure that's what all of you care about, is it's quite simply, we need to find support in this area, and then start trading inside this green area. That would allow us to start rebuilding bullish momentum. That will allow us to start building the liquidity needed to continue a bullish trend and continue working our way towards all-time highs. Now, again, a support in this area is not confirmed until we see a break of structure, or at least a bullish move that breaks into and then holds into this green area. Once we are in this area, then we can start looking to break above it. Once we break above it, that's full confirmation that this support area has served its purpose, and then from there we can start forming new retracement levels, so then we can better understand if we're going to keep the bullish momentum or not. It's as simple as that. That's just something that comes with time. That's just something that I will show to you guys as it appears. But since we're still, we just have to wait and let it play out. We have to see when it happens, and then as it happens, that's when I can, give you guys some updates. A break below this means that we are looking at support. We don't want to see, and I'm going to make this a different color. I'll make it red. That's our bearish path. A breakdown. We don't want to see prices even hit this. We want to see prices, find support well before this, ideally in the orange area, but or scenario above this. Because if we do break this area right here, I will bring back so actually, let me see if I can give you guys a quick estimate right now on what that can look like. So it's kind of overlapping. So let me make this red as well. It's kind of overlapping in my opinion. I don't like that. Let's do a strong red. Okay. And then you know what? This one, I don't know. Let's do. Let's make it look cool, right? Let's just do a gray line. Yeah, that's fine. So it's kind of overlapping. So there is strong potential for support if we do break below this, above the second wave low right here, the second wave swing low. There's strong, support in this area if we do break below this. But of course, the possibility of falling into this area, as you can see, based off of this, it's possible as well. Now, this is extremely unlikely in my opinion. I really strongly believe that Bitcoin is not going to, and if it does fall below 65,000, I strongly believe it's not going to be below 65,000 for long. It's, if you look at the bigger picture, and I break that down on a previous video, like in my opinion, yeah, we have really good, bullish structures in play right here. We have a pretty solid second wave. We're just having like an extended correction, but still a healthy one because we are within that second wave. Third waves can be overextended, which means within those fluctuations we can see some major dips as well. I mean, major based on the actual smaller structure. It's not the current dip where it's not major whatsoever. It's actually quite minor. But we have still not broken above this swing high right here, and we're so close to all-time highs. We haven't broken above this high right here, the swing high, which I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna make it look a little cleaner. We don't need this anymore. Just like that. So, which that comes out to just a little bit under 72,000. Like, this is very much overdone. Like, it's just testing a lot of people right now at this point. I strongly believe, my own non-professional opinion, I strongly believe that a break below the second wave low is extremely unlikely, although possible. And then a break below $65,000, if that were to happen, it's going to be very short-lived and it's not going to last long. I will probably, at that point, buying personally, I might be looking at aggressively adding to my short-term positions on that. That's just my opinion. But of course, that's the bearish path, finding support ideally within this area. But that could happen in this orange area at any moment. And then once we have momentum into this green, and we hold a break above this, will confirm that the support areas did its job. But regardless, even if we do break below into this area, or even start breaking up higher from here, it is all going to lead eventually and soon, regardless of what path we take, into the all-time high area. It just depends how patient you are and how you're willing to structure your trade so you don't make any short-term mistakes that can hurt you a lot. And then of course, even if we fall down in this area, as you can see, I've had this drawn out for a while. You guys can look at my previous videos, but it still falls in line with this, these structures I have. This is the yellow represents the more fluctuation short-term stuff, and then the white dotted one represents just the overall movement. So yeah, I'm gonna stop there. I feel like I'm repeating myself too much. I'm sure you guys, excuse me, understand what we're looking at with Bitcoin and how that can influence Mara. And then I'm gonna have, excuse me, I'm gonna have you guys a update on MSTR coming up soon. But yeah, guys, I gotta get going. There's somewhere I gotta be, so I'm kind of in a hurry. But yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hope all of this made sense, and I'll catch you guys on the next one soon. Okay, see ya.